Chapter 3. Day, why did I do this? Forget my life. Seriously, it's officially over. I stare at the hideous jumper before me, complete with huge, ugly flowers, and feel a gag coming on. I think back on the questionnaire, the part where I explained our first date in detail, all the way down to the, quote, hideous floral jumper I was so in love with at the time. This is what I get for being honest. My nostrils flare as I dart a look to a camera I spotted in the high corner behind me. I can't believe you did this, I hiss, death itself clinging to my voice. I cover my face and weigh my options. Can I make a deal with Marcia to forego the $30K for today and wear something else instead? This is evil, I add, glaring at the atrocity before me. My old high school jumper wasn't this hideous. It was a cute enough cut and shape, just not an attractive pattern with all its clashing colors and loud flowers. But this, Satan himself sewed this monstrosity. I step 1 foot inside the massive wardrobe, hoping it'll take me straight to Narnia. When it doesn't, I reach into the metal locker fastened to the back and tug the ugly outfit off its hook. It's the material they use to make stiff, pleated drapes that hang on high, dark walls in forsaken castles. There are ruffles happening at the cuff of each 3/4 length sleeve, and at the hems too, which look as if they'll hit me mid-calf. My heart goes into spasms. I spin it around and gasp when I spot a zipper in back. A zipper, for crying out loud! And not just a little invisible one either. This thing is the size of railroad tracks. My next breath comes out shaky. This was a mistake. A mistake as big as the mansion that held the drapes this fabric came from. But then an image of Kai floats through my mind. We used to dress up in crazy costumes all the time. I'd rocked a Twisted Sister-style wig with matching makeup and wardrobe in front of the entire school. I can do this. At least the producers hadn't made me show up in the thing, and they better not make me wear crap like this for the rest of the time. I duck into the bathroom, trusting what they said about not having cameras in there, and say goodbye to the gorgeous dress. My heels definitely won't go with this, I realize as I step into the bloomer-like pants, 1 leg at a time. I shove my arms in next, the cloth scratchy against my skin, and take a look at myself in the mirror. Clown shoes and a big red nose. That's all that's missing here. No, I'm not Nikki anymore. You can call me Mimi. I make balloon animals, perform magic tricks, and I can make your libido disappear. I stare at my reflection between the puffed sleeves, rounded collar, and the mane of my wavy blonde hair. My face looks like it's shrinking. I hurry back into my room and tip my suitcase on its side. It takes less than 3 seconds to recover my hair and makeup kit and run back to the safety of the private bathroom. I tug a hairband from my bag and proceed to pull my hair back. I work the long locks into a high pony and loosen a few wisps so they frame my face. There. I try focusing on my face and hair while blurring out what's happening on my body and almost feel normal. I'm quick to trace on an extra coat of lip gloss and gargle some of the mouthwash they so kindly provided. I hurry back to my suitcase, step into my bamboo flip-flops, and stand before the mirror hanging inside the wardrobe. Hello, Mimi. My puffy pleated shoulders flinch as the rattling bell blasts again, this time 2 short spurts. That was the sound of your 5-minute warning, the man chimes happily through the intercom. I walk into the hallway. No signs or arrows point out the way. It seems the wardrobe must be the only portal in which the station's evil witch and her hobgoblins have access from the other side. The place seems to be part house, part high school, and part TV studio. It looks perfectly normal from the outside, and my bedroom, minus the hidden locker, is typical too. But as I walk into what I expect to be the kitchen, I find our old high school cafeteria instead. Only it looks like the lunch duty crew has taken the day off, since the serving area lacks any hints of food. Hey, comes a husky voice from behind. I stop short. I'm seriously dreading the big reveal, but I force myself to spin around and get it over with. Hi! I expect to see Kai wearing a football jersey like he wore during our first date. He's wearing one all right, one made for a Sasquatch. A pair of thick, dark-rimmed glasses sit crookedly on his nose. Layers of masking tape make a bump in the center, and the glass has a magnifying effect on just one side, making one of his brown eyes bulge. It reminds me of the googly eyes on my old Cookie Monster toy. I can't help but laugh. They got you too? I laugh some more, relieved that I'm not the only one suffering. Oh, they got me, he says, his weirdly wide eye going even wider behind the thick glass. I stifle more laughter. Well, I didn't exactly say I wore an Oompa Loompa costume on our first date, but I may as well have. Kai leans down and takes hold of my hand like it's the most natural thing in the world. It's probably best that you didn't. They might have rolled you in Cheeto dust, and then I wouldn't have wanted to hold your hand. Right, I say through another laugh. I would have wanted to lick it instead. I giggle some more. Kai always did know how to make me laugh. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't like the way his hand feels in mine. The library's this way. He leads me down the hall. I took a small tour right when I got here. Luckily, everything's labeled. He nods toward a bronze plaque outside the upcoming door. And so it is. We walk inside and quietly survey the place. Bookshelves, books, study areas with big round tables and beanbags for lounging. It's not until I glance around a second time that I see a flashing fluorescent sign over a rather tall, isolated bookcase by the drinking fountain. Enter here. Just as I scrutinize the letters in glowing green, Kai speaks up once more. Oh, a magic bookcase, maybe? A whir of wonder stirs within me. I always wanted to step through a secret passage like that. Who hasn't? Kai shrugs, and his oversized jersey inches down his tan and very muscular shoulder. Stop staring, Nikki. How did they find a jersey that was too big for you? I ask as I move toward the sign. I mean, should I be worried that King Kong is going to come tear off the roof of this place to get his jersey back? I'm more concerned that the ornery old man with the floating house is going to fly over here and take his glasses back. I laugh, knowing that Kai wore similar glasses on our first date to make himself look smarter, a fact he fessed up to on our second date. That explained why I'd never seen him wear them at school. Okay, Kai says once we're at the green sign. I'm about to make your wildest dreams come true. Hot tingles flare in my tummy. How did he know about my dream? Go ahead, he says with a nod at the bookcase. Oh yeah, that dream. The hidden passageway. I clear my throat, reach out, and give the edge a little push. The tall structure gives way like a revolving door, so I push on it some more. Here we go, I say theatrically over my shoulder as I walk into the unseen space. If this place was part school, this was the gymnasium, one with a diner-style booth set up at the corner. You made it, sings that same cheery voice. A guy in a pale blue suit stands there. I've seen him before, haven't I? If this were a race between the tortoise and the hare, I'm the hare and you're the tortoises. But wait, doesn't the hare lose? He scratches his head, then shrugs. My name's Colt Finley, and I'll be your host for the next 5 days. Now, before Big Boy gets all crazy-eyed... Wait, maybe it's too late for that. He laughs under his breath. I should assure you that I won't enter the main part of the home. I only show up when it's daytime, which is when you'll require my talent for telling people what to do. You'll show up here to find the place transformed just in time for the event. Tonight, if you haven't already guessed, you two will be going on your first date again. But since you can't step outside these walls, we've brought Sill's Diner to you. So, head on over, take a seat at the booth, and enjoy your evening. Okay, Kai says. I can tell by the sound of his voice that he's weary, which is good because so am I. Oh, Colt Finley adds, don't worry about me. I'll just be on my phone hunting for wearable parachutes so I can get my wife one of those. He nods to my outfit. Kai shakes his head. Whoa, whoa! The host puts his hands up and steps back. Don't pull those eyes at me, please, man. I'll be nice. I look at Kai once more, trying not to laugh at the hideous effects of those glasses. One eye looks big enough to belong to the Cyclops who owns the giant jersey. The other looks like it came from a shrunken squirrel. Kai shakes it off and places a hand at my lower back. It feels warm and wonderful and so very familiar. We head to the booth that looks just like the ones from our favorite burger joint. Shall we? Kai motions for me to take a seat. I slide into the booth, praying the ugly outfit won't make toilet noises against the vinyl as I scoot. It doesn't, and I sigh with gratitude. Kai slides onto the seat across from me. This is weird, isn't it? I try to look at him seriously, but I'm having a hard time with the lopsided eye size. Yes, a laugh coats the word. So let me guess. You said you wore an oversized jersey to our first date, along with a pair of fake dorky glasses? He nods. And you told them about your cute little outfit and ended up with a tent. Pretty much. You still look cute. My heart sputters. So do you. And he does, even if it is cartoon character cute. He clears his throat. You graduated last year, I heard. And you're starting up a small business now? He heard that? Yeah, and you're right about to take the bar exam if all's going well, right? Right, Kai nods. I nod too, dreading the question that comes to my mind next. A lot hinges on whether he's moving back here or not, and by a lot, I mean our second chance, if there even is one. I try to tell Trader Me to stop thinking things like that, but suddenly the question comes barreling out of my mouth. Where do you plan to practice law? My heart jumps into a wild rhythm. I run the tip of my finger over the tablecloth while waiting for his reply. Here in Arizona. The wild rhythm turns into a happy dance. I already have offers from 2 different firms. Of course, one of them is my father's, but... Another thing I admire about Kai, he's always 2 steps ahead of the game. The guy graduated high school with an associate's degree, for crying out loud. Would you consider working at your dad's firm? I ask. This touches a sore spot. His father was the reason Kai was so set on going to Stanford for his undergrad, the reason he took off to California instead of staying in Arizona while I suffered the most brutal years of my life. No, Kai says. I think it'd be best if I worked for a different firm, but it's nice to know he has confidence in me. I want to ask him if his father would still have confidence in him if he finished his undergrad here in Arizona, but I don't. Kai clears his throat. Shelley has 2 boys now. They're cute little rascals, too. I can't wait to be a bigger part of their lives when I move back. I picture his sister raising 2 boys and grin. She married Troy Connor, right? Right. So that's another reason I should stay close. They need their cool Uncle Kai around so they don't turn out like their geeky dad. I point to the glasses and laugh at the irony. Mm-hmm. Kai tears off the glasses and runs a hand over his face. Sheesh. These things are giving me a headache. He blinks a few times. I feel like my eyes have shrunk. Just one of them has, I promise. That's a relief. He sets them down on the table and squares a look at me. I gulp. On one hand, I'm relieved that he took the silly things off so we can have a conversation that isn't comedy enhanced by the crazy eyewear. But another part of me senses my disadvantage. The glasses helped even out the playing field. Kai lets out a sigh. How's your mom? My mom isn't secretive about her eating disorder anymore. In fact, she's come to a place where she's helping raise awareness about the different forms those disorders take on. But since I failed to get the okay to discuss it beforehand, I choose my words carefully. She is actually really good, thank heavens. She's been back home for almost 2 years. She has a good job, and she's living with her mother now, helping take care of her. Kai holds my gaze, a genuine smile spreading across his face. That's great, Nikki. Yeah, it is. I'm grateful that, despite her time spent in and out of treatment centers, my mom is getting her life back in order. But even still, the memories make my shoulders tense. I roll them back, trying to free myself from the residual pain. This was the crux of our breakup. I couldn't have abandoned my mom and taken off to some out-of-state university. And since Kai knew how much I was struggling to keep it all together, I figured he'd join me until he was ready for law school. But no, he couldn't let his father down. Of all the important people who'd gone absent in my life, my father, who walked out while I was young, and my mother, whose illness took her away from me, it was Kai who hurt me the most. He'd always been my comfort, my constant, my distraction from all the hurts beyond my control. Nate felt a similar way about it. He'd always looked up to Kai, which was probably why he'd taken it so hard when he left. How's Nate? Kai asks, as if reading my thoughts. I think I heard he's going to Washington State. I grin. Yes, isn't that amazing? I can't tell you how important it was. A flood of emotion grips hold of me, pride, satisfaction, gratitude. For a while, I say, I wasn't even sure the kid would graduate as much as he was skipping school and doing Lord knows what. But he came around. A vision of Nate in his cap and gown causes my eyes to well with tears. What I wouldn't have given to have that type of freedom at his age. I clear my throat and blink back the tears threatening to spill. It was important to me that Nate had the opportunity to just leave, unhindered, free. Nikki, the way Kai says my name, so gently in his deep, raspy tone, says he knows the topic is tender. But he can't know the tug-of-war that's happening in my heart. The mixture of joy, pride, and the opposing sting of resentment that nearly ruins it all. Because look at what I lost in all of this. I lost Kai. Yoo-hoo! It's me! I glance over in time to see Colt wobbling on a pair of roller skates. He's traded his suit for a waitress uniform, a pleated skirt, frilly apron, and the name tag, too. A tray of food balances on one splayed hand as his weight darts precariously from front to back. Somehow, he makes it to the table without incident, which is good since I'm starving. Diet Coke and a burger and fries for the lady, he says as he sets the drink and paper-lined basket on the table. Dr. Pepper and a burger and fries for you with the crazy eyes. Colt barks out a laugh before taking a double look at Kai. What happened to your face? Migraine. Kai points to where his glasses rest on the table. Can't wear them anymore. Yikes! Colt leans into Kai. Between you and me, you look much better with the glasses. He squares a look at me and tucks the round trays beneath one arm. If I were you, I'd tell him to put him back on. With that, he skates away. Kai leans over the table. She's not getting a tip. I heard that, Colt hollers. I grin. Wonder if I could say this romper is giving me a migraine. Kai dips a fry in his ketchup cup. Don't do that. It's starting to grow on me. That's because most of it's hidden under the table. He reaches for my drink. It's because you make it look good. I watch as Kai begins whirling my drink with the straw as if he's been doing it all along. As if it's only been days, not years, since we've eaten at the diner on a date. Suddenly he stops and looks at me. You still like it like this, don't you? Yeah, I do. Whew. He stirs some more and then stops to take a sip. I bite back a smile as he shudders from the taste. Can't believe you like it like that. He scoots it back across the table. I try to pretend my heart isn't spazzing out from the sweet gesture and take a sip. It's perfect, thanks. These look like Syl's burgers, Kai says as he looks at his plate. Let's see if they taste like them too. He lifts his burger toward me ceremoniously. Here's to reinventing our past and reshaping our future. Reshaping our future? My insides feel like they're churning butter suddenly. I glance at my Diet Coke. You don't want to cheers with our drinks? He shakes his head and points to the extended burger. It's because mine's flat, isn't it? He laughs. Don't leave me hanging. I secure my burger with both hands, then lift it toward the center until it taps Kai's. Cheers? Our eyes meet, and a new dose of hope blooms in my chest. Cheers.